I'm on an epic road trip around this beautiful country.
And I am so excited.
My childhood holidays were spent in our little family camper van.
It was a really happy time for all of us.
So I've splashed the cash, got hold of my own and named her after my favourite person.
Say hello to my wonderful camper van, Helen Mirren.
I'm now on an 800-mile adventure.
Here we go.
Round the length and breadth of Britain.
So I'm in charge of the ship.
To find beautiful places.
It's so nice.
And hidden corners.
There's a sheep in my hood.
It's a celebration of amazing locations.
Hello. Yes! He waved at me.
Both big.
Oh, my word.
And small.
I had a dream like this once, I think, after eating a lot of cheese.
So saddle up. And join me.
If we do that. I'm Godzilla.
On a magnificent adventure.
It feels so wrong to be in first gear the entire time.
On my grand day out. This time, me and my faithful campervan Helen are exploring the Cotswolds.
Well, I was not expecting this.
Making friends.
I'm finding this a very gentle and relaxing experience.
Seeing the sights.
This is incredible.
The traditions.
Don't hit yourself, Calman.
The treats.
You need to keep talking, because every time you talk, you can take a mouthful.
And having a great adventure.
It's like Roadrunner. It looks like I'm going really fast, and actually I'm not.
First things first, a little look at the map, which isn't without its challenges.
This is the disadvantage of tiny arms. Watch this. I've not been there. It's me pointing with my forehead.
Covering 5 counties, the Cotswolds has plenty of bustling cities. But on this trip, it's the charming villages I'm interested in.
We're in Tetbury. Here, which is a picturesque village. Lovely. And I know I'm going to end up, at Broadway. I think in between we just go for a wee meander, a wee pootle. Pootle was my favourite flump, if you remember the flumps. I know it makes people feel physically sick if I don't do this map up properly. I mean, it's like watching Bear Grylls in action, really, isn't it, with this map?
Don't mind me. But to start with, there's one place I'm desperate to see.
Now that's what I'm looking for here in the Cotswolds. Look how beautiful that is. I want to investigate it. I sound like Miss Marple, don't I? Sound like a tiny Scottish Miss Marple.
My detective instincts tell me these cottages are a short walk from here.
Hi there.
Good morning.
Is this your dog?
It is.
Hi. Aren't you amazing? What's his name?
Griff.
Griff. Hi, Griff. It's good that Griff's got no trust issues. I mean, it's absolutely fine. But at some point, I'm going to have to move, my darling. I really am.
I like to think that's my official Cotswolds welcome. The stone cottages on Arlington Row were built in the 14th century as a wool store. Now converted to housing, it's got its own modern-day claim to fame.
So you might be watching this with a niggling thought in the back of your head, saying, I recognise this place. And that's because it's actually in your passport. It's right at the front.
The cottages first appeared in passports issued between 2010 and 2020. They were specially picked and intricately drawn to deter fraudsters, and in the process attracted visitors from around the world.
I'm Susan.
Apurv.
Ananya.
Nice to meet you. My first time in the Cotswolds. Is it your first time?
Yes.
We stopped anywhere, parked anywhere.
This is like kindred spirits. I've been avoiding taking pictures. When you take a picture, you take one view and you don't look all around. And so sometimes I like to do a little twirl, so I appreciate everything, because then you see it all.
Yeah.
So I do that.
That's a standard in Indian television. When I'm asking him to click pictures of me, I just twirl around. And I'm like, can you take a picture or a video maybe?
Show me.
This
Beautiful. Love it. Would you like to twirl with me?
Yeah,
No
okay.
worries, of course.
If you do that. If you do that.
That's like my favorite pose, you know.
That's sightseeing Calman style. And I'm just getting started.
Speed bump. Brace yourself. Come on, my love. There we are. Off like a rocket.
She's full of enthusiasm is our Helen, as am I. For my next stop, I'm travelling 30 minutes to the market town of Tetbury. Once celebrated for its wool, it's now known for its wool sack race.
I'm assuming, like we used to do at Sports Day, I was never very good at Sports Day. I won a third prize one year in throwing the cricket ball, which was apparently a thing you did. Well done, Helen, you wee sweetie. I always like to say thank you to her.
I always want to keep her on side. I've heard the race usually starts at this village pub. Inside is organiser Stephen Hurst.
Is it the kind of sack race I used to do when I was younger?
Not a bit like that. This is far more serious.
Oh, goodness me.
The race began as a competition between drovers who were a key part of the wool trade. In the 16th century, Tetbury had one of the most famous wool and yarn markets in the country.
The wool was clipped and the wool was put into sacks, wool sacks. And it's those which people carry up and down the hill. They race against each other.
Now, why did they do this?
Well, it's all down to the normal problem women.
Went, well, I understand. Tell me why women were a problem.
The herders used to drive their sheep down here to market, and then halfway through the night, to impress their girlfriends, these drovers used to pick up a wool sack and run up the hill to the pub at the top. It's all about women.
It's all about women. In the same way as I used to do karaoke to try and impress women. It'd be so much simpler dating if it was just like that.
These days, it's less about who gets the girl and more about who gets up the hill the fastest.
People run them down the hill as if their life depends upon it.
The race has been run since the 70s and takes place on one of the oldest roads in Tetbury, which also happens to be one of the steepest. And even though it's not race day, I'm meeting 5-time champion Martin to try it out myself.
Get it up there and absolutely rinse yourself between here and there. So when you cross the line at the top, you are, pretty much dead.
How reassuring. There are two kinds of sack, the lighter being £35 and the heavier 60, and there's a proper skill to it.
So you want a grab to hand in the middle there, then a lunge straight up, and then sprint, and you do that as you're running.
It's not really the weight I'm worried about, it's more of a logistics issue.
Do you know the main problem I have in my life, Martin, is my height?
Yeah.
See, if you've got a shopping bag, it trails along the ground for me. It's not that it's too heavy, it's just that I have to carry it like that.
Yeah.
So that's my concern about it.
That's not going to work with this.
No, it's not going to work with that.
Yeah.
I can't carry it like a...
Definitely not.
I've just been to the shops, everybody.
Think I could do with a bit more of a demo.
What I would love is I would like you to show me a bit of that.
Yeah, no problem.
Good luck, Martin. Martin doesn't need luck.
Martin is carrying the heavier £60 sack.
Come back, Martin! Come back!
Not that you can tell.
Oh my God, he's gone. He's absolutely gone. Martin, come back!
That's your lot for now.
Very good, though. How was that for
It's a
you?
bit easier when there's a lot of people shouting and screaming.
Oh, sorry, was I not supportive enough for you, Martin? That was very, very good, Martin.
It's safe to say, I doubt I'll be able to match Martin's pace.
That's me warmed up, okay?
The drovers did it to impress their ladies. Hope Helen appreciates it.
Got it on my back. Oh, I mean, I'm not going to sprint off like Martin did because reasons.
Because £35 of wool sack.
But I'm going to try and do a wee bit of the other hill.
Brace yourselves. Actually, I'm doing better than I thought. I mean, there's no need to do the whole hill.
Ready for the dismount? Martin, that was good fun. It's like Roadrunner. It looks like I'm going really fast, and actually I'm not. Thanks so, Martin. Great fun. I'm going to go for a lie down now, OK?
Do that.
OK. You're amazing.
Not bad for a first attempt.
I hope I impressed you, Helen. I did it for you.
I think I'm spending too much time with this van. I'm on a road trip exploring the glorious, if blustery, Cotswolds in my campervan Helen.
And one thing we've discovered about Helen Mirren is that she gets a bit uncomfortable when it's windy. Don't we all? I mean, look at it. Stunning!
I'm stopping off in the village of Westonbirt at its famous Arboretum, which is a botanical garden for trees. It's home to almost 3,000 different types of trees and shrubs from around the world, making it a particularly scenic part of Britain, as marketing manager Becca here knows only too well.
This is an absolutely beautiful place. When did this start?
So this was all started in the Victorian era by a man called Robert Holford, who was a very wealthy landowner, and he had a big passion for plants. And plant hunters used to go off all over the world, finding the exotic, the beautiful, and sometimes the just plain strange.
I love the idea of being a plant hunter. I mean, if my careers officer had suggested that was a career for me, I'd have been off.
Robert Holford was a fan of the then fashionable picturesque movement. Appearance was everything.
So when they designed it, they deliberately did it in terms of how beautiful it looked.
Robert Holford essentially planted his Arboretum, and the idea was to make as many beautiful, really aesthetic and stunning landscapes as possible.
It's worked a treat.
We are, though, at the moment, next to my favourite trees. And I love the fact I have a favourite tree. Do you have a favourite tree?
I do have
Which
a favourite tree. It's acers.
Acers!
Acers are maple trees that are instantly recognisable by their amazing colours. Some are from Robert's original collection. The whole place is a natural wonder. Becca has an idea for how I can get even closer to nature.
There's actually a thing called forest bathing.
Forest bathing.
Doesn't have anything to do with getting wet, you'll be pleased to know.
I'm slightly worried. I'm very suggestible and gullible, and sometimes people tell me things, forest bathing, and I'm like, really? Okay, no problem at all. What do you do to forest bathe?
So it's a Japanese concept, and the idea is you immerse yourself in the woods and in the forest using all 5 senses.
Okay.
And so you walk slowly through the woods and just really, really take in what you can see, what you can smell, feel, taste.
I'll try anything once. I'll have a bathe with one of my favourites, I think.
The thing about acers is that they are dramatic trees. Because if you look at this, it's like I'm going on stage through a red velvet curtain. I love it. There's no better way to make an entrance in a forest than through some acers. I'm a showgirl.
Forest bathing is thought to help people relax and de-stress. Just need to find the perfect spot.
I'm under this lovely canopy of acers, and this is where you use your senses. And if you just spend a bit of time taking a few deep breaths.
Bathing bliss.
But there's one more thing that I want to do while I'm here, and it's something, it's a little bit childish, but it's important to me.
Forest bathing is a great way to relax.
To wait for a gust of wind.
Leaf catching, not so much.
Quite a bit of cardio as well.
But at least I'm still using my senses.
Good luck for the rest of the year.
And for the rest of my trip. For For the next leg of my journey, I'm heading to the north of the Cotswolds to a sweet spot in Mickleton, where I'm planning to spend the night. And Helen is causing quite a stir.
You can see the looks of utter astonishment on people's faces that this is an actual car.
And she does remind me of those family campervan journeys done in the 80s, and with a soundtrack to match.
I like driving in my car, but chit-chit, diddle-diddle. It's not quite a Jaguar, but diddle-diddle.
And this place is a bit different too.
Hello. Hi. Susan Calman, can I check in, please?
Certainly can.
Yes.
Chocolate bedroom, there's the key.
The chocolate bedroom.
Yes, just down the corridor, find your way up to the second floor.
The chocolate room. All right, thanks very much.
Seems like my kind of place.
The chocolate suite. Oh my word. Here we go. It's like you're sleeping in a box of chocolates. This is extraordinary.
It's making me a bit peckish.
Dear Susan, you're cordially invited to Pudding Club. Please join me downstairs. Kind regards, Lucy. Pudding Club.
I've always dreamt of being part of a secret society. This one sounds very me.
I take it I'm in the right place for Pudding Club.
Yes, welcome to Pudding Club.
I cannot tell you how delighted I am by everything that's happening.
Right, I'm sorry, I'm going to have to say it. First rule of Pudding Club is...
Are we allowed to talk about Pudding Club?
We're definitely allowed to talk about Pudding Club.
Okay, great.
Lucy's weekly club lets guests eat a tasting menu of traditional poods.
So Pudding Club's all about the tradition and the nostalgia around the puddings from the 80s and before, just to really keep them alive.
Right, I think that's enough preamble. There's a lot to get through. We have trifle, crumble, jam roly-poly, bread and butter pudding, Lord Randall's pudding, and my favourite, chocolate pudding.
Start with the bread and butter pudding. Tell me, how does a pudding club run?
Try and get the main course out as quickly as possible.
No one's there for the main course, are they?
I'm going to give my all to this.
If you'll excuse me, the jacket's coming off. I'll be really honest with you. It's custard and gravy are two of the greatest culinary inventions in the entire world, are they not?
Oh, definitely.
And Pudding Club visitors agree. Each week guests put away 8 gallons of custard. At this rate, I won't be far behind.
Should I try the jam roly-poly next?
Yes.
Okay.
One of my favourites. It's a suet pastry that we line with jam, roll it into a traditional log shape. It's then steamed. You're going to love it.
You couldn't believe I hadn't had jam roly-poly before.
Jam roly-poly is a classic old pudding.
Is it like school dinners or something?
Yes.
We maybe didn't have puddings at school.
At least now I can make up for lost time.
I mean, as an idea for a club, it's exceptional. Because it's essentially just eating loads of puddings. Lovely.
It's been running since 1985. That's a lot of people enjoying a lot of puddings. No wonder I feel at home.
What's interesting about these puddings is that they are traditional.
Some say a true pudding should be baked, boiled or steamed. These British staples are super filling and unlike their dainty continental cousins like creme brulee and tiramisu, true comfort foods. But there's always room for more, eh?
You need to keep talking, because every time you talk, you can take a mouthful. What alcohol's in that one?
Sherry.
No,
I
sherry.
might have been a little bit too heavy-handed with the sherry.
Good job I'm staying the night.
But it's all good fun.
I'm feeling slightly drunk on puddings.
The time has come.
What I'm going to do now, because I've been saving it.
I'm very full, but I mean, it would be very rude not to.
It's a very chocolate pudding. It's made with a 54% cocoa value chocolate, which is a really good dark chocolate. Very good for cooking.
Keep talking, Lucy.
Very nice and rich.
That's really good.
It is really good. One of my favourites.
I just want to put my face in that. It's really very nice, Lucy. It really is.
Thank you very much.
I just need a moment.
Lucy, I can only thank you for this experience of Pudding Club. It's been really, really lovely. I'm going to go back to the chocolate suite now. Real pleasure to share this moment with you. So thanks
Thank you
very
very
much,
much.
Lucy. So thanks.
Thank you.
See you later on.
See you
Okay,
there.
see you later on.
I have a long night ahead. My adventure continues, and I'm heading to one of the most popular spots in the Cotswolds, Bourton on the water. But the weather has taken a turn, and today it's more like Bourton under the water.
So one of the benefits of a camper van is it's raining quite a lot, but I've got my own house. I'm like a snail.
Most buildings in Bourton are made from the honey-coloured local stone, including this rather cute-looking spot.
I think I should maybe buy Helen a present, because I need something for the van. Because she's quite bouncy, Helen. Take a wee nodding sheep. Hello.
Hello.
I would like to buy them.
Right, thank you.
This is called the Venice of the Cotswolds.
Yes, it's the river and it's the 5 bridges that you see in the centre of the village that gave it that sort of nickname.
Like Venice, Bourton often has more day-tripping visitors than residents.
I went on my honeymoon to Venice, so I'm hoping for the same romantic feel.
I don't think you'll get a gondola, but...
Can I feed the ducks?
Absolutely, they expect it, yes. I mean, if you're very patient, they'll come and eat out of your hand as well.
I mean, that's joyous.
And I'm hoping it'll be just as joyous at the village's oldest attraction. So grand it's Grade 2 listed, but at the same time, rather tiny. And no, your eyes aren't deceiving you. I'm in Bourton's famous model village.
We drove into this village down one of these roads. This is a recreation of the village that's out there. And it's the slightly mind-blowing concept that they've recreated the whole village here that I've just been in over there. And I'm tearing up a little bit about it.
Built in the 1930s, the 1/9 scale miniature was a true labour of love, taking a painstaking 5 years to complete.
Visitor Information Centre. I've just been there. The High Street.
And there are little tiny vegetables in the front of the supermarket.
The village is kept up to date as businesses come and go, but the buildings have remained the same.
It's absolutely gorgeous. The paths. There's a church.
The level of detail is extraordinary.
One of the keys, I think, when you come anywhere like this is to take your time and have a look. You can see all the way down to the end of the church. Oh, it's gorgeous.
Because this model village is a true replica, it even has its own model village in the model village.
This is the cherry on top of the icing on top of the cake, on top of the meringue, on top of everything else.
Fellow model village fan Andrew Lund-Yates is the proud custodian.
I love model villages. Do you love this place?
Absolutely. My youngest daughter, this used to be her playground. When it came on the market a couple of years ago, Dad, she rang me and said, I think we need to buy it.
Really? Is that what happened?
Yeah.
How are these lovely houses built?
So this is built in the natural Cotswold stone.
Wow.
So when we need to refurbish buildings here, we use the same quarry that was used back in the 1930s.
And did you have craftsmen come to build it?
So back in the 1930s, it was a team of stonemasons and carpenters from the village, carved all the roof tiles individually, and we're proud to keep it as it is.
I like to think at night it comes alive.
Of course, now that Helen and I are here, the village isn't quite so complete.
Andrew, I've got this.
Perfect.
Which is a little model of my van, Helen.
Yes.
Is it OK if, as a tribute to the joy that I've had here, and believe me, it's brought me great joy, can I leave this in the model village?
Of course you may. Be my pleasure.
Well, thank you, Andrew. And I think this is a good place to leave her. I think she fits right in.
She's not that much smaller than my van. One last thing.
I defy you to come to this model village and not do this, right? I'm Godzilla.
I had to, didn't I? Well, Bourton, both model and village, have been delightful.
Hello, darlings. Got some food for you. Hello.
Right down to its very friendly wildlife.
So, Oh, there we are, right out the hand. There we are, no problem at all. It's romantic here, isn't it? Okay, there we are. Here's some for you as well. Here you go.
I think they're only after me for my duck food.
This one is my friend. Or greedy. Here you go, darling. It's all right. Suddenly there are hundreds of ducks. Oh my goodness. Here you go, guys. Here.
Best 75 pence I ever spent. Though next time I might go for 2 bags. I'm loving touring the Cotswolds in my campervan, Helen. There's something gorgeous for us to see at every turn. But the windy roads are causing me a bit of bother.
So one of the adorable quirks about Helen is that the petrol light sometimes comes on if I'm on a hill or if I turn a corner. So what I'd quite like to do, I think, is just pop into a garage.
I've spotted the very place, and this one still does an attended service. Fancy?
I've never had someone do this for me before.
Oh, we do this. It's part of our job.
Oh, thank you. My name's Susan. What's your name?
Les.
Les, nice to meet you, Les.
Nice to meet you, very lovely.
I mean, we never know how much she needs. Have you ever seen anything quite like this before?
No, it's very unusual.
That's a lovely way of putting it.
I think Helen's got a fan.
Would you like us to check your oil and your water and the tyres?
She'll be in safe hands with her new friend.
Watch this graceful dismount. Thanks, Les. I'll be back in a bit.
Good boy.
So while Helen's being attended to, I thought it was a nice time to have a wee cup of coffee. Morning. Morning. I mean, this place is amazing. It's just a woman on a horse going up the high street. I just love it. It's amazing.
And rather familiar.
You'll recognise parts of the Cotswolds if you watch a lot of television or watch films. This is Marple territory. This is where you're going to see a gentle murder.
Apparently, nearby Chipping Campden was used as the set for Marple adaptations, including Nemesis, which was the last Miss Marple novel Agatha Christie wrote.
I'm going to go to Chipping Campden and I'm going to live my inner Marple, because we're in the Cotswolds. What could be more Agatha Christie than the Cotswolds? Well, apart from the Orient Express. That's not here.
With its quaint high street and thatched cottages, Chipping Campden is known as the jewel of the Cotswolds, and on a day like today, I expect it to be twinkling brightly.
Here comes the sun, dip-doo-doo. Here comes the sun, and I say it's all right.
As well as inspiring a song, the sun has brought another great idea.
I've decided to name my lamb Jason Statham, after my second favourite film star, Jason Statham. Sheep Street. Jason, it's your street.
I've not spotted a Calmans street yet. I do hope he's honoured.
I'm going to find a vicarage and see if something has happened.
Chipping Campden doesn't disappoint. Beautiful, serene, unspoiled England. That's what they want you to think. I've watched enough TV to know all is not always as it seems.
So this is a perfect spot, I think, to live out my inner Marple. I mean, everyone's a suspect for a crime that may not yet have been committed.
Well, they won't be getting away with it on my watch.
I always look at people a lot, because if a crime occurs, I want to be the best witness possible. I never want to be one of those people that goes, oh, I don't know how tall he was or what he was wearing. So I always look at everyone in case a crime happens. Watch this as I surreptitiously look over. No one will know I'm looking. So, yep. Just always going to keep looking.
I'm clearly a born detective. But it's Agatha Christie's captivating storylines following much-loved detectives Miss Marple and Poirot, which have meant her novels have stood the test of time.
Just going to go for a browse, is that okay?
Yeah, please.
Thank you very much.
Please do.
Local bookshop owner Duncan McClement knows a bit more about the Queen of Crime and how she created the modern murder mystery.
I'm a huge Agatha Christie fan. What have you got back there?
I have
two, actually, which I'd like to show you. Taken at the flood, which
Yes.
you being a Poirot aficionado,
Yes,
you'll
absolutely.
know. That is a first.
So this is our first edition?
Yeah.
I'm frightened to touch it.
And this is Absent in the Spring,
Mary Westmacott, which is what she wrote under.
Absolutely, yeah.
I'm looking at it with lust. If you've ever wondered, which I don't think at home you will have wondered what lust looks like in my eyes, this is lust.
But we don't talk lust in a classic British whodunit.
What is it about the Cotswolds, you think, that makes it perfect for these kind of, especially kind of oldie English crime dramas?
You have a lot of stately homes, a lot of country houses, an aristocratic heritage here. So it's perfect for that country house murder. Little villages, cut off, little isolated. So there's a lot of things, you know, what's going on behind closed doors.
I love a dose of old world charm, especially with a sprinkling of mystery and intrigue. As well as literary connections since the 1900s, Chipping Campden also has strong links with the arts and crafts movement, which was a move away from mass factory production. In 1902, designer Charles Ashby moved around 50 craft specialists and their businesses from London to start a new life, setting up a workshop in what was then the Silk Mill. Hart's Silversmiths is the last family business from those days.
This place is absolutely gorgeous, David. It really is.
David Hart has been working as a silversmith since leaving school, following in his father and grandfather's footsteps.
When I started, Grandad was working over there. My father worked here. Now it's gone full circle, I'm the old man.
Early 30s, David. Early 30s, surely. True fact, my granddad was a silversmith.
Yeah,
a very,
I've
very
heard that.
talented silversmith. Examples of his work are still around. Is there something simple I can have a go at?
Well, I'm sure you can have a go at making a spoon.
I mean, it sounds simple. Hold on a second, I'm going to put on my important safety equipment so I can actually see.
I feel a masterpiece coming on.
You've got a piece of silver there, and it's marked out the shape of a spoon. And if you cut that with the shears, you've got enough strength in your wrist.
I don't know why he would doubt me.
We all have different talents, David. Mine's not necessarily cutting out silver.
Hopefully this will soon be the head of the spoon.
It's just cutting around a shape, but I feel an inordinate amount of pressure. Now what do I do? Put it there?
I suspect I need to make it a bit more spoonish, not a technical term.
Did I just hit it?
You've got to hit it fairly hard, yeah.
It's fine. Don't hit yourself, Calman. I mean, it's a wee bit wobbly, but we're all right. You want a spoon in life, David, that holds enough soup, but not too much pudding.
Spoon connoisseurs take note. I'm actually trying to make a jam spoon.
You've got ability.
From the front, it looks like almost a spoon. It's a strange spoon.
Let's say it's rustic, not bad for a beginner. But I'll hand over to the expert for the next step. To be softened, the silver needs to be made red hot.
While that's cooling, David, can I ask you, what are those pieces of paper
This
up
is
there?
our accounts department. They're the oldest, go back to the 1940s.
It's like a magical forest. It's quite an artwork.
Like my spoon. Time for a bit of a tap-tap from David to get my spoon back into shape.
So is this the moment? We're going to connect the spoon to the spoon head?
Yep.
I've not quite got the lingo, but from my first go, it's not bad.
It's a little bit rough and ready, but that's okay. So am I, David. That is my Cotswolds jam spoon, made by my own fair hands, and a little bit of help from David. I mean, a small amount of help from David, obviously, mostly from David.
You're
It's
very
been
welcome.
lovely to see your wonderful workshop as well.
I'm off to get some jam. Travelling around the Cotswolds in my campervan Helen has been every bit as beautiful as I expected, but my next stop promises to be very different.
Well, for a start, this is a beautiful driveway. Oh, she skidded a bit there, did our Helen. She's a classy lady. She doesn't like a cattle grid. Oh, Helen. I've got a glimpse of something up ahead. It's unexpected, I'll tell you that. Wow. Well, I was not expecting this.
Season Coat House is a Mughal Indian palace slap bang in the middle of the Cotswolds Hills. And there's even a pal for Helen to hang out with.
Hello. Hi, Edward.
Welcome to Season Coat, Susan.
Thank you very much indeed. It's absolutely beautiful. What a view as well.
And not only is the view spectacular, the house is also unique. With its Indian style of architecture, it's the only building like it in Western Europe and has been in Edward Peake's family for nearly 80 years.
Why on earth is it here?
Well, it was a family that had worked out in India in the 18th century called Cockerell. And when they came back, they'd made a sort of huge fortune in the East India Company.
In 1763, the young John Cockerell became part of the East India Company, which specialised in trading goods from the countries and territories around the Indian Ocean. Today, its history is linked with exploitation and colonialism, but even in Cockerell's time, it was controversial and partly why this house was a one-off.
It became sort of attached with an idea of decadence. People felt back home that they must have been, you know, up to no good to have made so much money so fast. So the kind of fashion got nipped in the bud.
The Cockerells showcased their interpretation of Indian culture in this amazing building.
It's a surprise because we've been driving around the Cotswolds and it's very beautiful, gorgeous. And then suddenly this appears.
Season Coat was almost derelict when Edward's grandparents bought it at the end of the Second World War.
They had American troops stationed here before the D-Day landings. The dome was painted camouflage colours so that the German bombers couldn't use it to find their way to Birmingham. And it was rumoured to have a demolition order against it. It was in such a poor state of repair.
Thank you so much for showing me this beautiful house, Edward.
Delightful to meet you, Susan.
Edward's family saved this unique house and also the grounds which I've got the chance to explore.
You two be good, yeah?
There are nods to Indian culture throughout the gardens, which were given a new lease of life by Edward's grandparents. It's an all-year-round job for head gardener Greg Power, who once worked on the beautiful grounds at Buckingham Palace.
If we're planting, I'm taking my coat off. Do you mind if I put it here?
Yeah, carry on.
Best to ask, because there doesn't seem to be a leaf out of place in this 8-acre garden.
Tell me about what it's like, because there's a lot of garden out there.
Formal gardens are orderly, which is fun. The rest is informal, so it's nice to have just plants spill over the edges on the gravel paths.
I'm glad there's room for a bit of disorder.
I love gardening. Are you impressed by the way I'm...
So we fill up the soil halfway.
Halfway. That's exactly what I've done.
Yeah, and then we can just plant the bulb.
The landscape is reminiscent of a Mughal paradise garden. The grounds feature ponds and fountains.
What's special about the garden out there?
The spirit of Season Coat, it's very tranquil, water movement, it's in a valley, so it's really nice.
I think I found the spirit of Season Coat.
I'm finding this a very gentle and relaxing experience talking to you, Greg. I'm finding this space stages were both massaging because I'm sleeping. This is one of the strangest, most beautiful things I've ever done.
I'm sure Greg brought similar serenity to his last job as the Queen's own gardener.
What was Buckingham Palace like?
Fun garden, 40 acres, central London.
Yeah.
It was really nice.
Do you know what I like about you? You're discreet.
Yeah.
I know whatever happens from now on in, you're not going to tell anyone, are you, Greg?
No.
My questionable planting can be our little secret.
It's very little more relaxing, I think, than Earth doing this. I think it's lovely.
But before I get too distracted, I better get back to Helen before she's led too far astray.
Helen, how could you?
Mine and Helen's Cotswolds adventure is drawing to a close, but we're going out on a high.
I'm going to somewhere called Broadway Tower. I'm sure it's not, but it sounds slightly like a high-rise flat.
A 20-minute drive promises stunning views across the Cotswolds.
I think of all the trips I've been on, Helen's probably enjoyed this the most. Have you enjoyed it, Helen? I think the day she replies to me is the day I should stop driving. That's Broadway Tower. It is not a high-rise. It looks like a castle.
Legend says that Broadway Tower was built on the whim of an aristocrat who wanted to see if a beacon on top of the tower could be seen from her home 22 miles away in Worcester. She was right. It could.
This is incredible. And from here, on the top of Broadway Tower, you can see 16 counties. You can just see how stunning the whole place is. It's well worth all those stairs, I'll tell you. I have absolutely loved my road trip here in the Cotswolds. And the villages might all look quite similar because of the gorgeous Cotswolds stones, but each single one of them has a different character, a different personality. And you can find little nuggets of treasure every single place that you go. And it's just been warm and beautiful and lovely and just gorgeous. So I think it's only fitting I enjoy my final time here in the Cotswolds in the way I like to enjoy myself when I'm in the great outdoors. So prepare yourselves.
Next time, Helen and I are exploring stunning southwest Wales.
Nice!
Travelling along what is said to be some of Europe's finest coastline.
Wales is having a very strange effect on me.
It promises to be a road trip full of exciting adventures.
I'm trying to go that way.
As I push myself.
Oh no, I'm really, really frightened now.
And Helen to the limit.
I'm gonna get above 30.